6 people at a Canadian vaccine clinic were accidentally injected with a saline solution instead of the Pfizer vaccine. Although harmless, saline doesn't protect against COVID 19. Everyone vaccinated at the clinic on a certain day now has to go for an antibody test to confirm whether they received a vaccine or saline. After the Trinity test proved an atomic bomb could work, J. Robert Oppenheimer addressed the scientists of Los Alamos. You are heroes today, but in a very short time, you will be criticized for what you have done here. Archaeologists have known for decades that the giant moai heads found on Easter Island are attached to torsos beneath the surface. Runestones have gained an air of mysticism around them, suggesting ancient secrets from their writers. But translating them offers such gems like Halfdan was here, and Injidant is the most beautiful of all women, which is much less mystical, but a lot more human. Planted in the 1780 as the Sobrero Monumental, also known as the Whistler tree, is registered in the Guinness Book of Records as the largest cork oak in the world. It has been harvested over 20 times since 1820, and in 1991 it produced over 2,646 pounds of cork, which is more than what an average cork tree produces in its entire lifetime. In Japan, Microsoft experimented with a 4-day workweek by shutting down offices every Friday as part of a work-life choice challenge. Productivity increased by almost 40% per employee. Scientists grew trees in a sealed biosphere and couldn't work out why they fell over before they matured. They eventually figured out whilst they provided the perfect growing environment. It was lacking wind, which provides the stress to ensure the trees grew strong enough to support themselves. Environmental activist Jadav Pine started planting trees on a barren Indian sandbar in 1979 when he was 16 years old. Today he lives in the forest he planted, which covers over 1,300 acres and is home to rhinos, tigers, deer, apes, and elephants. Brandon Call starred in Step by Step for 7 seasons and then retired from acting. What he's been up to since is a complete mystery. In 1980, a Canadian named Terry Fox ran across Canada for 143 days with an amputated leg to raise money and awareness for cancer. The Canadian hero ran over 3,000 miles during his marathon of hope and raised $23.4 million, but was forced to cut his run short when his cancer returned. He died at age 22. About 1 in 1,500 people can give themselves goosebumps at will. The phenomenon, called voluntarily generated piloerection, defies understanding of how the nervous system works. The Navajo have a tradition around celebrating a baby's first laugh. Around 3 months, they watch the baby closely. For that first real giggle, the person who has the good fortune of eliciting that first laugh is then responsible for throwing a party. There is a town in the Alps that does not get any direct sunlight for 84 days. However, the town fixed that by installing a giant mirror on the side of the mountain. President John F. Kennedy made one of the biggest blunders any president has ever made during their first 100 days. He launched a dangerous CI operation that failed spectacularly. Yet, somehow, his public approval rating increased by 11%. During WW1, a captured British officer made a personal appeal to the German Kaiser for leave to visit his dying mother. Incredibly, the request was granted. My grandpa told me that he got to see the Titanic and that from the beginning. He told them not to get on board because he knew it was going to sink. But no one listened, and he repeatedly told them until the minute he got kicked out of the movie theater. 2000's Pay It Forward was hoping to score some Oscars, but it didn't quite work out. Rolling Stone called it a pandering, virtuous package of populist pap. Halle Joel Osment did win a blockbuster award, though. A man in China bought a first class, fully refundable plane ticket, which gave him access to the airport's VIP lounge where high rolling travelers can dine for free. The man rescheduled his first class ticket 300 times in 1 year to enjoy free meals. When the airline figured out his scheme and confronted him, he cancelled the ticket and got a full refund. This is a work crew in German occupied Poland, circa 1941. And one of the men in this photo is the future Pope, John Paul II. Grasshoppers are older than grass, they dated back to the early Triassic around 250 million years ago. Meanwhile, fossil findings indicated that grasses evolved around 66 million years ago during the Great Depression in London. People who couldn't afford to sleep in a bed could pay twopence for a spot on a bench with a clothesline tied in front of them so they could sleep while hanging over a rope. Did you know? Not everyone can focus and defocus their eyes at will. Being able to defocus is the relaxation of ciliary muscles, which can also help people see things far away. Defocusing your eyes is often useful for optical hidden illusions and 3D films and artwork. Did you know? Deep inside the island of Luzon, in the Philippines lies Vulcan Point, which is an island within a lake within an island within a lake within an island. This is a 225 million year old petrified opal tree trunk located in Arizona. In 1999, after a spate of chair related injuries, the employees of one of the units of the Seattle Police Department had to attend a 30-minute lesson on how to safely sit in a chair. Did you know? During the Civil War, a group of counties in northern Alabama and eastern Tennessee rejected the Confederacy and tried to form a new state called Nickajit. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman inaugurates India's first 3D printed house at IIT Madras. Research finds your cat would probably eat your rotting coats. The sun's mass takes up 99.86% of the solar system.